Hello everybody, and welcome to this video from Inspire Cows. My name's Mike Steele and I'm the dairy coach from Inspire Cattle Solutions. Now today's video is all about Monensin. This is a product that's available in the EU and outside the EU, but within the EU it is not available as a premix or top dress for dairy cows. It's only available as a controlled release capsule for the rumen. So the first thing we need to understand is how Monensin works. So Monensin is a molecule called an ionophore. Now ionophores are like small holes. They're like a little pore that can enter into a bacterial membrane. So when we feed cows, all the food goes into the rumen, and inside the rumen is a population of bacteria, protozoa, and any other kind of live organisms that are there in the rumen. Now what this ionophore does is it targets bacteria in the rumen, and it targets specific types of bacteria. Now when animals eat, and ruminants eat, then the food goes into the rumen and is then broken down. And it's the bugs that break this food down. And what they're trying to do is break the food down and provide energy to the cow. Now, for us, our energy source is principally glucose, which is like sugar. But for a cow, they use volatile fatty acids. And these are smaller 3-carbon molecules that come from the food, the forage that the cows eat, and the concentrates that the cow eat. And the bugs break these down to volatile fatty acids. And there are 3 types. There is acetate, there is butyrate, and there is propionate. Now in terms of rumen bacteria, there are 2 types of bacteria. There are gram-positive bacteria and gram-negative bacteria. Now gram-positive bacteria are largely spheres with a single membrane, but gram-negative bacteria can usually be longer shapes like rods, and these have an extra membrane around the outside called lipopolysaccharide membrane. Now this is important when it comes to Monensin, because I said that Monensin is like a hole, a pore that inserts into the membrane. And in gram-negative bacteria, it cannot get to the bacterial membrane itself. It's stopped by the lipopolysaccharide. So it selects only the gram-positive bacteria. In terms of energy, and the bacteria that provide the energy in volatile fatty acids, it is the gram-positive bacteria that produce acetate and butyrate, and the gram-negative bacteria that produce most of the propionate. Now propionate is the primary source of energy to the cow. So if we can make more propionate at the expense of slightly less acetate or butyrate, then we can provide more energy from the food going into the cows. And this energy can go directly to the liver, directly to the cow, where she can use it for her own purposes, but also it can go to the udder to provide a resource of energy to make lactate and milk components in the udder, and to feed the udder cells too with energy. Now energy is very important around calving to any cow, because she tends to eat less coming up to calving and then give lots of milk after calving, and therefore there's an energy gap while her appetite catches up with the actual energy that's going out to the milk. So if we can provide more energy over this period, we can prevent ketosis happening. Now ketosis is when the reverse occurs and you get more butyrate, beta-hydroxybutyrate happening from the cow using its own energy sources, like fat from inside its abdomen. And this can produce ketosis, which can reduce yield and increase disease in cows. So it's good for cow welfare to reduce ketosis. And so providing more propionate, more energy from the feed at this crucial time around calving is exactly what Monensin can do and provide. It's also very good to provide more feed efficiency in times like heat stress, because heat stress actually takes active energy from the animal in order to dissipate heat as radiation in vasodilation, so when you have more blood vessels coming to the skin to radiate heat, or to evaporate heat from the body, like if you're providing water sprinklers, then the water evaporates off of the cow and extracts heat from the cow. So we need more food in order to provide more energy to supply that heat to evaporate off and cool cows down in heat stress situations. So Monensin can help in heat stress by providing more energy for each bite in. And in heat stress, dry matter intakes do tend to decrease. So what we can do is we're providing more energy in to make sure we have more energy out. Now, in order to make Monensin work, we need sufficient fibre and sufficient time for the Monensin to work in the rumen. So in order for Monensin to work on the bugs in the rumen, it has to have a slow throughput of food in the rumen. So the rumen has 4 components. It has gas at the top, and then it has a rumen mat, which is principally floating fibre. Then it has lots of soluble food in water, and then it has a kind of sludge at the bottom which it regurgitates and then can ruminate and bring back down to break that food down. In order for Monensin to work properly, we need sufficient fibre inside the rumen. Now, fibre needs to be 3 to 5 centimetres long, and so it's good to look at refusals at the end of the day and make sure there's not too long fibre in there so the cows aren't eating the fibre from the ration, or to make sure that there's not a lot of small particles. So if you have a Penn State sieve, this is a great tool to have with Monensin, because if you look at your Penn State sieve results at feed out 3 hours later and then on refusals, you can look to see if there's any differences or if there's any sorting happening in the TMR. Now, if you're providing enough physically effective fibre, Monensin won't affect milk fat at all, because it's having enough time to work in the rumen. So it's essential to look at fibre and physically effective fibre going into the cow using Monensin. So in summary, Monensin provides more energy for each bite of food. It works on gram-positive bacteria to favour propionate in the rumen at the expense of acetate and butyrate, which favours more energy available for the cow and for the udder. And this is essential around calving when there's an inevitable energy gap. So Monensin can help to reduce ketosis, especially if there's an energy gap as well in heat stress. It can help with ketosis at that time. And because we're reducing ketosis, this is also linked to other diseases such as endometritis, metritis, and displaced abomasum, and the lack of those diseases provides more energy available for milk for the cow as well. So in some cases, when you may see a reduction in dry matter intake for any reason, what you often see with Monensin, because of the propionate, that is compensated for, and you don't have the related losses from this. So Monensin can help with ketosis and the energy gap around calving. So if you've liked this video and you'd like to see more, then click on like, click on subscribe, and click the bell notification to get notified when new videos come. And we'll bring you more videos on farms, on dairy related issues, on anything dairy related. See you again.